In this elementary math problem, it says that a store has 7 3/8 yards of a roll of fabric. The store also has a second roll that is 10 3/4 yards of fabric. Now the store sells 4 pieces of fabric that are each 4 5/8 yards long, and the question asks how many yards of fabric is left after the sale. So what we want to do is start with the first roll that you see there in blue. The first roll of fabric is 7 3/8 yards. If they cut a piece of fabric that is 4 5/8 yards from that roll, we would subtract 4 5/8. Now, in order to subtract 4 5/8, the fraction part is 3/8 minus 5/8. So since you can't subtract the numerator 3 minus 5, what you need to do is borrow from the whole number of 7 in the first mixed number here. We're going to borrow 1 and make that a 6. And then we're going to add to the fractional part. 1 is equal to the fraction 8/8. We want to use 8/8 because it has a denominator of 8. So we're going to add that to the fractional part. 3/8 plus 8/8 gives you 11/8. And now we'll be able to subtract. So that gives us 6 minus 4 for the whole number, leaves us with 2. And our numerator 11 minus 5 is 6, denominator of 8. We can reduce that and get 2 3/4. And so now that roll of fabric has 2 3/4 yards left on it. Now that's not enough to cut another piece that's 4 5/8 yards long. So we can't cut any more from that. So let's go to our second roll, and we're going to subtract 4 5/8. And here again, in order to subtract, in this case, we just need to find a common denominator. So if we change the 4 to an 8, 4 times 2 equals 8. So that means our numerator needs to be 3 times 2, which will be 6. And now we'll be able to subtract 10 minus 4 is 6 with our whole number. And our numerator is 6 minus 5 gives us 1 over our common denominator of 8. Now we have enough. 6 1/8 is larger than 4 5/8. So we'll be able to cut another piece from this roll, 4 5/8. And we're going to have to borrow again. So from our first fraction, the 6 whole number becomes 5. And then that 1 that we took away becomes 8/8. We add it to the 1/8, and we get 9/8. Now we can subtract 5 minus 4 is 1. 9 minus 5, and our numerator is 4. And our common denominator of 8, which equals 1 1/2 yards. And so once again, we see that we don't have enough on that roll to make another piece. So we've only got 3 pieces of the fabric that we were able to cut that's 4 5/8 long. And so we have this much remaining on the first roll, 2 3/4, and we have 1 1/2 yards remaining on the second roll, and we were only able to do 3 pieces. And so it's not possible for the store to cut 4 pieces of fabric.